I'm telling them that I can't breathe. Clearly he don't give a damn about my plea. His ancestors used to hang us on trees. Today they identify as road police. You see I'm black, for that I'm a threat to America. My rise is their fall and their fall is evident. Blood on your hands is heavier than an elephant. Open up America's closet and see.
Welcome to my channel. I'm the 20th, and this is Reignite Sandy Speaks. Again, you guys, welcome to my channel. So today, you guys, we're going to talk about something I think is going to be very vital in our journey to liberation and demonstrating that Black people are not equal in this country. That when in different instances that when we do a compare and contrast, that Black people are clearly created equal. And this one, I just did a video about an issue in California, and when researching that, I came across this. So I'm going to put this video in here and then let y'all see.
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing.
It was this arrest of two Black men for trespassing 1 week ago at a Philadelphia Starbucks that sparked outrage and indignation across the country. Calls for boycotts, Starbucks being accused of modern-day racism. Today, the Philadelphia police issued a mea culpa.
I can appreciate why these two men were appalled when they were asked to leave. For this reason, I apologize to them.
The two men at the center of it all, Rashawn Nelson and Dante Robinson, spoke out today for the very first time to ABC's Robin Roberts.
What I say is I understand that. Rules are rules, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
The men, both 23 years old, were in Philadelphia's upscale Rittenhouse Square area, waiting to meet a potential business associate who lives in the neighborhood.
It's a real estate meeting. Okay. We've been working on this for months. We're days away from changing our whole entire situation.
They'd arrived early, and Rashawn says he asked the woman at the counter if he could use the restroom.
She stated that they were for paying customers only, and I just left it at that.
Then you go and find Dante. You're at the table.
She then comes from around the register, walks up to us, asks if, she can help us with anything. Can we start with some drinks or water? So, we're fine. We're just waiting for a meeting.
You never heard her say, you have to leave. No. Just, you have to order something.
Yes.
Then the manager called the police.
Hi, I have two gentlemen at my cafe that are refusing to make a purchase or leave. I'm at the Starbucks at 18th and Spruce. All right, please, I'll be on as soon as possible.
According to 911 accounts, a call was placed at 4:37, approximately 2 minutes after you arrived, to 911. What did you think when you saw police arrive?
You can't be here for us.
What did they do? What did they do?
Shortly after, Andrew Yaffe, the friend that they were waiting for, arrived.
They weren't doing anything, like violent or angry. Police officers had to move the tables away and put them in handcuffs. They were basically perp walked out of the store and put in a police car.
How long were you in custody?
About 8 hours.
8 hours?
Yeah. There was no reasoning. They had nothing. They just kept using defiant trespassing as their excuse for putting us behind bars.
Almost as soon as the video was posted, it went viral, garnering more than 11 million views.
This is brand baggage for Starbucks, brand baggage that they will have to quickly overcome in order to really get people to understand that it's not the fabric of who they are, but an isolated incident.
The company's CEO appearing on ABC on Monday.
I'll say the circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome in our store on Thursday were reprehensible. They were wrong. And for that, I personally apologize to the two gentlemen that visited our store. Now, certainly, it's my responsibility to understand what happened and what led to that and ensure that we fix it.
The manager reportedly defended her decision to enforce a store policy against excessive loitering because the men hadn't ordered anything.
Plenty of white people go into coffee houses and don't buy anything. My issue is that Starbucks only seems to enforce the rule with regard to police for certain customers.
Starbucks is a place that just doesn't sell coffee, it sells the culture of community.
On CBS, company chairman Howard Schultz acknowledged that bias was at the root of the incident.
The reason that they were called was because they were African American, and I think I'm embarrassed by that. I'm ashamed of that.
Now Starbucks is taking a fairly unprecedented step, announcing that on May 29th it will close all of its stores for an afternoon of anti-discrimination training.
just the beginning of what we will do to transform the way we do business.
It's really impossible to train people not to be racist or to get rid of their implicit bias in one day, 1 week, or 1 year.
While just today, Philadelphia Commissioner Richard Ross was forced to walk back that statement he released on Saturday.
These officers did absolutely nothing wrong.
Ross says reform is now underway. For many people of color, while this incident may be maddening, it's not surprising.
Just like you kicking me out the gym for no reason?
Just today, a New Jersey LA Fitness apologized after 3 employees wrongly accused Shirod Oates, a black man, of working out without paying and called police. LA Fitness said in a statement that the employees are no longer with the company, adding, "Our staff unnecessarily escalated the situation rather than work through it."
They ain't fair. I don't do nothing. I do my work. My grades is good.
And actress Gabourey Sidibe of Precious and Empire fame says the phenomenon known as shopping while black once happened to her. She says she went to a Chanel store in Chicago looking for sunglasses. She says the clerk directed her to a discount store across the street. Chanel later released a statement that read in part, "We immediately investigated, knowing that this is absolutely not in line with the high standards that Chanel wishes to provide." John Henson, a Milwaukee Bucks NBA star, says he too was discriminated against in 2015 at a high-end jewelry store. He wrote that he went during business hours and that employees locked the door and told him to go away. 2 police cars then pulled up, the officers questioning him about his car. Thomas Dixon, owner of Schwanke Caston Jewelers, said he regretted the incident and that racial profiling is never acceptable.
All of these things are part of the kind of implicit biases that people have against black and brown bodies. This is why 14-year-old kids get read as 20-year-old kids, and their toy guns look like real guns.
Dante and Rashawn say this all started over a simple business meeting. But in the end, they say it wasn't just the deal that was damaged, but their dignity.
That particular incident in Jersey was one that kind of very important to me, vital to me. This was 2018. This was before COVID. This was prior to George Floyd. And I've talked about this previously because I always give an example of when industries, companies, corporations are guilty of anti-black treatment or incident occur, I encourage you not to go in the store. This one for me with Starbucks kind of really impacted me because I go to Starbucks. I go to Starbucks. Well, I used to. Okay, I've talked about this before. I'm trying to think the last time I've been to Starbucks. I don't think I've bought coffee from Starbucks since this happened. Okay. And I mentioned before that it's a Starbucks on Melrose that I used to frequent when my daughter was in acting class. And when she was in acting class at the, I forgot what it's called, the Groundling on Melrose Avenue in California, Los Angeles, I would go to, it's a Starbucks on Melrose. It's on the corner across the street from Urban. And it's a place where you go, you sit out, you come with your computer, and you hang out. So how these boys were treated, to me, was in contrast to what we expect of Starbucks. Coffee shops, what do? When we have business meetings, we have these meetings in general, hey, meet me at the coffee shop. They didn't order anything, they didn't buy anything, and it may have been they didn't order or buy anything, they were waiting for the person to come. Sometimes that happens, okay? And again, I want to highlight that when these things happen, family, because I want to do a whole movement of black people, okay? This is what I'm here for, that we alter and we change how we're being treated and how we're targeted in this country, by being cohesive and recognizing that our fate is linked. As I said, when these things happen, you're not going to catch me in the store. The same thing happened with Gucci. I'm a very huge fan. Gucci, I think, is probably was my favorite design. Probably still is, to some degree. But when Gucci had an issue, and I had tons of Gucci stuff, you was not going to catch me rocking no Gucci. And this was about the lack not spending my money with them, but saying to, making a statement is that if you're going to abuse black people, it's not okay with me. So again, this specific story was very vital to me because I stopped going to Starbucks. Because how I felt is that this was a big story. It went viral. I would have felt like a fool when non-black people saw me in a Starbucks after this happened. And these are the values and consciousness that I want to instill upon my viewers. And I want you guys to get on board and help me change and alter the treatment of black people in this country. So let me get to the point why I'm here and why I'm really pissed. So you guys, what happened? I'm gonna find the article that I found and tell you guys what happened. So what ended up happening? An unexpected $26 million victory for Starbucks manager in a viral 2008 victory. A federal jury awarded $25.6 million to Shannon Phillips, the Starbucks manager who was fired for an employee called 911 on two black men. Family, y'all heard the video. Y'all heard her call the police to say that they wouldn't buy anything, so we're going to call the police on them. And I felt like her being fired warranted what she did, what it sounds like to me, that they're not encouraged to call the police. So I just want to make sure that I'm making sense and just some clarity to this. Going to a coffee shop, specifically Starbucks. Starbucks in my area have sockets and places where you can bring your phone and you can charge your computer, because that's what you do. You go to Starbucks and you do your homework or do your schoolwork. I sat outside Starbucks about a week ago to work on on my cases that I'm having against the state of California. Okay, but I sat outside. Not digress. I went in and wanted something, but they didn't have anything. They didn't have any sugar, so she kind of rolled the eyes at me, so I left. I ended up going to biology and got pizza. I digress. Anyway, the point that I'm making, you guys, if you heard the call, that call and the treatment, I think probably should have went against corporate culture. That if someone wanted to use the bathroom or was waiting for someone, based on what we saw, those young men were being very respectful and polite. And I believe the general consensus should be that was racially motivated. Okay? So the compare and contrast is going to be when a white person claim discrimination, say they were fired because they're white. We're going to do the compare and contrast to when a black person says that they were discriminated against. Is the standard of proof is it the same standard when a white person says, I was fired because I'm white? Or when a black person says, I was discriminated because I'm black? And what's taking me back is this $25.6 million verdict. A jury awarded her $25.6 million. And family, I'm really serious about this because I see where this is going. Daniel Penny, his GoFundMe last time I looked was almost $3 million. We saw him murder a hungry, homeless black man. And so the powers that be said, we got your back. We're going to take care of you. A woman says that she was fired, let go because she's white. That people in Starbucks were being punished because they were white. What I think happens, I think Starbucks may have closed down the Starbucks or closed several of them and did a whole initiative for racial tolerance. This is Starbucks being proactive and conscientious, family. This and we need to, I don't know what we need to do, but I got Starbucks back now, okay? When this happened, I told y'all I didn't go to Starbucks. But what Starbucks did, they took it seriously. I think they closed 180 stores and they did a whole initiative. Okay, so family, when corporations acknowledge that this is happening and they take steps to fix it, we need to recognize that every employee is not created equal. The corporations can't really control people. There is a corporate culture, and to me, this was instilling in the corporate culture that you don't do that. That black people are discriminated against, made to feel unequal, unease in this country, and as a corporation who's conscientious, we're going to make an effort not to make black people, black Americans feel not valued or unequal. And what happens? She sued Starbucks just because she was a white woman. And she won $25.6 million. And you guys, I'm going to read this to you about the case. The case wound its way through COVID delay after COVID delayed only going to trial in recent days. On Monday, the jury finally got the case, and after 4.5 hours of deliberating, came back with unanimous verdict. The New Jersey jury found that Starbucks had violated Phillips' civil and state rights, awarding her $25 million in punitive damage and another $600,000 in compensatory damages. So compensatory damages, it means based on compensation for her losses. Okay? Compensation for her losses. Okay? They gave her $25 million in punitive damages, insinuating that Starbucks did something that was egregious or malicious. Punitive is when it's for harm, like intentional harm or something egregious. This is the message that they're trying to give. This family, I'm trying to tell y'all need to come fuck with me. Okay? See who I am, understand my story, understand my purpose, understand what led me here. Y'all can't watch this video and not care, okay? Y'all can't watch this video and not want to be involved. I'm not asking you a lot. I'm asking you watch my videos. I'm asking if you have any input, opinions, suggestions on how we can highlight these things or dig deep and investigate. I need you to participate. You guys, I know I get dramatic. I know I'm dramatic. See, I feel like I'm worked up. I'm worked up because she got $25 million after calling the police on 2 black men who are minding their business, just waiting, doing what's common at Starbucks. And family, I'm trying to tell you, these are messages. These are saying, this is saying to corporations that you don't want to discriminate against white people. But what happens when it's discriminations against black people? What happens? How hard? Oh, they'll say, because I'm currently looking to sue multiple agencies in the state of California. And they're going to say, well, how can you prove it? What happened? You have to prove the way the evidence has to show it's because you are black. Why? They awarded her $25 million. Punitive damages. Starbucks was not penalizing her because she was white. Starbucks was saying, in this country, we recognize that black people are not treated equally. This was before George Floyd, you guys. This was 2018. That this was a big deal. It went viral. And instead of Starbucks sweeping it under the rug, letting it blow over, because I told you I ain't going to Starbucks. I didn't know that they closed stores and did created a training. This is what I read, is that this is what I think played in her case, that they closed down stores and they did a race, they did a workshop or training on, I guess, racial tolerance or being aware, right? Because based on what I read, that was part of the reason the jury voted against Starbucks and awarded $25 million in punitive damages. Family, we don't just sit here twiddle our thumbs and say, this is America, this is how it's going to be. Okay? Just like how she fought and spoke up and clapped back. Yeah, if we look at it, they might have more resources, right? They might have the ear of some judicial officers, right? This is how it continues. But we don't let up. We let them know that we're seeing these things happening. People call it a dog whistle. She was awarded $25.6 million for punitive damages for being terminated. And I don't know what led to her termination. I don't know, was she terminated because you guys heard the call, right? Anyway, you guys, I'm not going to belabor this. Did I read this part to you guys? I don't remember if I read this part to you guys or not. I don't think I did. Because I'm going crazy right now. I'm going to read this. I don't know if I read it. I'm going to say it again. Starbucks hasn't commented on the case. This is the part that I'm trying to read, you guys, and I'm so sorry. As for the two men in the video, they settled with the city of Philadelphia for $1 each, with the understanding that city would put $200,000 in a program for young people. They were arrested and humiliated for going to a Starbucks to have a business meeting. The police acknowledged arresting them and being wrong. And they won $1 each. But $200,000 went to a program for young people. This is the integrity and the value of black people. They didn't sue the city and get millions of dollars. They got $1 and a promise to $200,000 to a program for young people. You guys, I don't know how to begin to investigate or research that, but I want to know where the $200,000 went. I want to know how these two young men feel about her winning $25 million. This was just reported. I don't know if a judge agreed. In other instances, there's another case where it was discrimination and a black man won a bunch of money. I can't reference that right now. He won, the jury awarded him like $40 million or $30 million, and the judge said it was too much and cut it down. So understand what we're doing. What we're doing is we're documenting the inequalities that black people experience every day in this country. That America has broken their promise to black people under the 14th Amendment. And this channel, Reunite Sandy Speaks, is to document how continuously black people are not free and equal in this country. She got fired. And see, family, I need help. If you know how to research this, if you are in law school or you have any type of expertise, I need y'all to come fuck with me. See, this is not okay. They can give $3 million to protect Daniel Penny. Even the lady who tried to steal the kid's bike got $200,000. And what we're doing, we're going on with our lives, complaining, talking shit like, yeah, this is black in America, up and onward and keep on moving. But we're not doing anything offensive or defensive to stop these occurrences. I'm not going to stay with this too long. I'm not going to make this a long video. I think we're going to revisit this. I just read about this. I think this just happened today. Today is June the 14th. So I think this is a new story. What I'm going to do is maybe it might take a couple of weeks or whatever, but we're going to get the court documents, because I want to know, how does she win $25 million in punitive damages? In order for there to be $25 million in punitive damages, Starbucks had to do something negligent or egregious or just abusive. Did you guys hear me tell you that Starbucks closed down a certain amount of stores and initiated a workshop on racial tolerance? This is them taking responsibility. This is Starbucks caring about black people and saying, we care about how we show up to our community and to black people, black Americans. And a white woman uses her white privilege to go to court. Because I'm going to tell you guys, because I'm dealing with a lot of legal stuff. When I'm looking for an attorney to help me in my case, I'm documenting the attorneys that I call and who tell me no and what they respond and how they tell me no. The fact that she got an attorney to take this to court and win her $25 million, she got $25.6 million. So I guess it's $25 million for punitive and $600,000 for compensatory damages. Anyway, family, I don't have a whole lot more to say about this, but we're going to revisit this. And I keep asking, I'm begging, please subscribe. Please help me. No one's going to save us. It's time that we show up and we stand up and let this country know that we built this country. That we are a vital part of the production and the culture, commerce, influential. We're very influential. We are vital in just everyday life in America. You know? And it's not okay. This isn't okay. Reunite Sandy Speaks. Value proposition is to demonstrate that America has broken their promise to black people. So this Starbucks award, we'll see how it's going to play out. But what we're going to do eventually, I'm going to pull the documents from the court documents. We're going to read and highlight the important part, because I want to know what made a jury award her $25 million in punitive damages. And black people, family, if you have had an instance where you work for a company and it was a pattern of abuse, of racial discrimination, and you made an effort to sue, please come and talk to me and tell me. We can do a video together. Excuse the noise, you guys. Do a video together. You can tell me what happened to you. Because we have to do a compare and contrast. Do you understand that, you guys? Do you understand the importance of compare and contrast? This is how you show and you prove discrimination. How you show and you prove discrimination, you demonstrate how someone in a similar situation was treated differently. And I always tell y'all, in the case, black people are not free. In the case of, I want to say Tyrese Nichols, but that's not his name. In the case of Breonna Taylor and, oh my goodness, this young man's name is not on my lips. The young man who was murdered when they came to his house for a no-knock warrant. His name's not coming to me. Amir Locke. In the case of Amir Locke, Breonna Taylor. Judges rubber stamped a warrant, a no-knock warrant. And what I think Ben Crump should be doing is pulling all of the no-knock warrants, like in a 5 to 10 year period, and show the percentage of no-knock warrants in white neighborhoods opposed to no-knock warrants in black neighborhoods. Family, it's time to do the work. I want that dream that Martin Luther King wanted. I have the same dream, but I'm realistic. I'm not of the mind that our community or people in this country are going to decide we're going to stop discriminating against black people. That we recognize that they've been harmed since they brought here and they're being treated unequally, and they live in a country under a whole lot of stress and strife just by being black. And we recognize that it's inhumane, and as part of the community and part of the country, we're going to make a special effort not to harm black people and let black people know that we appreciate them and we see them as equals. Yeah, there are white people like that. But this is not the general consensus. Because if it was, I couldn't be able to document so many different occurrences. And I just started. Anyway, you guys, I feel like I'm talking too much. So, to wrap this up, video incident, maybe I'm going to read this to you again, see if I read it before. If not, I'll just take it out. Video of the incidents went viral and alleged allegations of racism ensued, followed by protests, followed by an apology from the CEO of Starbucks, followed by the termination of Shannon Phillips, the white regional manager who oversaw the Starbucks in question. Well, 5 years later, Phillips has had her day in court, and the jury sided with her and against Starbucks to the tune of $25.6 million. Somebody tell me a discrimination lawsuit where black people won, or one black person won such a lawsuit. So, let me say this to you, because I just want you, because many of you who might work in different industries might not recognize the importance of this. My background is business. And through my education, through my work in corporate America, I learned about how things are influenced and infected. If a white woman won $25 million based on her being white, racial discrimination, we have to review the standard. What evidence did they what evidence did they demonstrate or present, that was compelling that Starbucks was negligent? See, this is Reunite Sandy Speaks, but we also need to have a critical thinking aspect of it. If Starbucks made a concerted effort, see, you guys, I want you to understand that black people do matter in this country, and we are influential, and our dollars do matter. But frequently, we're not heard, or we're discriminated against, or we're abused or offended because our voice is not loud enough, or we don't have the resources to pursue these things legally. And frequently they know that. I've done a video where black law enforcement officers acknowledged and admitted that they would go in black areas to hit their quota, because they know if they wrongly accuse black people of crimes, that they didn't have the resources to defend themselves. And then it's that white supremacist collective conscience that when this is a case of discrimination against black people, it's an unspoken rule that we downplay it, we don't highlight it, we work as hard as we can to demonstrate that no, this is not what happened. This is not discrimination. It's a misunderstanding, or it's poor training. This was not intentional. This wasn't based on race. See, I get indignant because they just keep wanting to piss on us and tell us it's raining. Yeah. Shannon Phillips won $25.6 million after she called the police on 2 black men who wanted to use the bathroom and waiting to have a business meeting. And they won $1. Welcome to America, right? Listen, y'all. I'm a 20th, and this is Reunite Sandy Speaks. Y'all come back with me.
They killing us for walking, killing us for jogging, kill us in our homes and fabricating and hiding. Where we had Sandra Bland's and Trayvon Martin's. If when you kill us, your family was a target. If your children was orphans, will you have compassion the next time you approach us? Yeah, we fed up, this is built up. Your city up in smoke, homeboy, we had enough. And I ain't enticing riots of violence, heighten the climate. I'm saying you smack me, I'm punching you in your iris. Retaliation is prescribed in both Bible and Quran. In the matters of the slang, see an eye for an eye, especially if the Justice Department do not comply.